Hello and welcome to Where Are Our Girls? The goal of this podcast is to spread more awareness on missing black girls in the United States and the relation to human trafficking. Our aim is to clear any misunderstandings about the industry and bridge the media gap and get more outlets to report when our girls go missing. As of this month, here are some of the names and ages of children and women who have gone missing. Lemlem Early, 13 years old, Rockville, Maryland. Taylor Williams, 5 years old, from Jacksonville, Florida. Devin Tollett, 19 years old, from Houston, Texas. Brian Snowden, 15 years old, from Norfolk, Virginia. The only story of a missing black girl that made national news is that of Alexis Crawford, who only made national news because she was found dead. Every day, another black girl goes missing. Many of these cases of black girls going missing become cold cases because they're reported as runaways when they're teenagers. In many states, the wait period to report someone missing, no matter their age, is 48 hours, which is crucial time to search for them. However, in D.C., there is no wait period. Many people imagine when someone goes missing, it's a mysterious old man with a white van snatching a child and driving off with them. But more often than not, in the cases of runaways, the girls are homeless and financially dependent on others. This leaves them prey to human traffickers who use their money and fake stability to coerce young girls and vulnerable women into labor and sex trafficking. Today we're discussing human trafficking in the United States and some of the misconceptions some people have about human trafficking, especially sex trafficking. A lot of people assume that sex work and sex trafficking involve the same things, but in cases of sex work, women keep the money for themselves. Whether they use a medium or not, some or all of the money goes to the worker, but in the case of sex trafficking, none of the money goes to the girl. Every day she is, to be quite honest, raped, and once the day is done, the pimp or trafficker takes all of the money. Most people think human traffickers are some creepy old white man, but it's usually somebody that the victim feels comfortable with and has known for some time. They could be their significant other, like a boyfriend or girlfriend, and they're usually older than them. These people are polished and attractive, and they pretend to be the victim's significant other until they have a deep emotional connection with them, and then can trap them in the industry. Others who have been historically human traffickers are gangs, employers, and even family members. Gang leaders typically put forth the least intimidating member to scout victims and approach them. Employers offer false opportunities in glamorous fields like modeling and the music business and lure victims away from home and safety. And sometimes it's even family members, and this is usually foster parents if the member is involved in sex trafficking. I find this last one especially terrifying since your foster family is supposed to take care of you and make you feel safe, but often foster children run away from their homes that they're put into and face dangers like this. I'm not speaking for the entirety of the foster care system, but there has been a history of child protective services and service workers placing children in abusive homes because they neglect to do proper background checks. Even worse, a large number of children in the foster care system are black and brown. In these cases, and this is not just about sex trafficking, this goes for human trafficking as a whole, the trafficker has to find a specific kind of person. Many times this is a black child and woman. Labor trafficking recruitment ranges from 5 to 10 years old. The prime age for sex trafficking recruitment is 12 to 15 years old. Traffickers have a specific method in which they find, manipulate, and trap their victims in the trafficking industry. They scout for their victims on social media, in shopping malls, bus stops, outside schools, and even use their victims' friends. These girls are usually on their own, though not always. There are cases of traffickers choosing girls who are lonely, abused, and need an emotional connection, so they promise love and attention, and once they have them, there's an emotional connection to their trafficker. They manipulate them by pretending to love them, be their friend or lover, they buy them presents, they treat them really well, something they might not have experienced beforehand and were looking desperately for. If the trafficker acts like they're actually interested in the victim's life, then the victim will begin to believe that they actually care about them. And then it begins to turn violent. The trafficker threatens them with beatings or follows through with the threat. They hook them onto drugs and become the victim's sole supplier. They say there's no one else for them, no one will come for them, there's no way they can get out, and with this, the girls stay for as long as they feel no one will save them or care. So you understand, this isn't some typical Stockholm Syndrome type of thing. This connection almost always becomes fear-based, and the victim is afraid of leaving. A lot of girls are put on drugs, and the only person who supplies them is their trafficker, so there's a physical dependence on them. My question is, are there any ideas that the audience has to spread more awareness, something that could be more attainable to students on a college campus. What I'm curious about is, does the information that you receive outside of this podcast correlate with what you've heard in this podcast about human trafficking? And what kind of information were you given prior? Please comment below your ideas. Thank you for listening to the first episode of Where Are Girls? We hope to continue the conversation and work to not only spread awareness about young Black girls and women going missing, but also end the human trafficking industry as a whole. On the next episode, I'm going to discuss statistics and how the media plays a role in ending the human trafficking industry and finding missing Black people. Thank you.